Morning, all. All right, so some news of the day here, some good news, some not so great news, and all that, and we'll mix it together for the news video that shall begin the day of videos on this channel. All right, Zemgus Girgensons getting the bad news out of the way first. I'd hope that Girgensons would have like a really good year this year. I like Zemgus Girgensons. I think he's a good bottom six forward, but he's not playing this year. He is listed as being out for 6 months after surgery for a hamstring injury he suffered in practice at training camp. So that means that there's an opening for another job on the Buffalo Sabres. Olofsson and Eichel, though, did return to the ice today. So Eichel and Olofsson look good. Girgensons is out for the season. So, all right. Hopefully he comes back healthy in October and next year's good for him. Braden Shen has been given an A by the St. Louis Blues. So makes sense for him to be the alternate captain. And so he'll be part of the new leadership group they have in St. Louis. And yeah, eventually he may end up being a captain. And again, we don't know when that might happen, but with everything being as it is, who knows? 2021, anything's possible. So, you, Braden Shen. Oliver Bjorkstrand proved today not everybody wants out of Columbus, which is good because honestly, it seems like it's a good place to play. And so Bjorkstrand signs a 5-year extension worth $27 million that kicks in next season. So Bjorkstrand is now tied to the Columbus Blue Jackets until 2026. And the cap hit, decent. I think this is fine. This is what Kekalainen wants to do as well. With other players, he wants long-term contracts. He wants that commitment. And not all players want to do long-term contracts. And kudos to them for figuring out how to do the long-term contracts during this, slowdown that the NHL is going through economically. So Bjorkstrand said, all right, I'll stay in Columbus. And, yeah, kudos to him for that. Johansson. So when Marcus Johansson signed in Minnesota and Bill Guerin was talking about him playing center, I thought, okay, but he seems to be more effective on the wing. Dean Evason may already be of the mind that he's more effective on the wing as well. And Evason knows him from Washington, too. He has Johansson, he may be going back to Johansson because he's in Minnesota. So, but it's been Johansson for the last few years. Johansson is playing with Bonino and Fiala. Now, the interesting thing with this is that means Nick Bonino is playing with two guys who are considered to be two of the better forwards in the Minnesota lineup. So is Bonino going to be playing a lot of minutes? And so that's a question that I have about the Minnesota Wild. It's a question I've had about the Minnesota Wild throughout is, okay, so that center spot though, right? Because they traded Stahl and they let Koivu go. And then when they picked up Johansson, they said, well, we're going to move him to center. And it just, yeah, and he's playing on the wing right now. So we'll see. And again, some of this may depend on Rossi and whether or not he makes the team and what happens with Marco Rossi. But hey, Minnesota this year could be very entertaining with Kaprizov being in. It's interesting too. I somebody in the comments mentioned, no, it's Kaprizov. No, it's Kaprizov. And I heard that on the NHL network from, it was one of the Minnesota guys who said he heard that in Russia, that's Kaprizov. So that's why I've been saying it that way. Anyways, Edmonton. A question that gets asked a lot is, so where is Puljujarvi going to slot into things? Apparently, Puljujarvi and Turris are slated to play together on the third line. I'll go out on a limb and say it'll be with Chason or Archibald. But, yeah, Puljujarvi and Turris are supposed to be playing together on the third line. And that's a line that could produce more goals than the traditional third line for Edmonton. Traditional meaning over the last 15 years. Back in the day, back when they were pretty good in the 80s, the third line was pretty good too. So yeah, Puljujarvi and Turris together. We'll see what kind of chemistry they have. And we'll see if Puljujarvi plays well enough to warrant getting a look at top 6 minutes as well. You would have to think that if there's an injury amongst the top 6 wingers, that Puljujarvi would get a look in the top 6 at that point. So yeah, and of course we've got 7 days left. 7 days until the NHL season begins. And we will be discussing games that are happening, have happened, and probably shortly after that, trades, firings, all that other wonderful stuff. because everything is going to be taking place over a very short period of time. It's going to be crazy. But hey, I'm here for it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.